Yes, in case you were curious, I am doing this right before freestyle graduation. Um, Please help me. Alrighty, so for my Zenith, I decided to do an experimental music visualizer. I chose this idea for several reasons. The main reason was that I loved the music video "Kids Are Growing Up" by the Kid Laroi, and I felt the song resonated with my own life story. I also wanted to try the experimental unit one more time because in my junior year, I was not pleased with the outcomes of my experimental unit across English, digital media, and film. So I figured Zenith would be a perfect time to understand that term and really have my second chance at the experimental unit. My research started off by understanding what instruments I'd need in order to make the music, what licensing I'd need, if any. And that started off by deciding if I wanted to completely redo Kid Laroi's song or really make it my own, kind of do my own version rather than make not necessarily a parody, but just a copy of what he did. And originally I wanted to do his music video from scratch, but a lot of complications occurred from licensing, realizing I needed multiple licenses, and just a lack of time. So there was that, and I realized that I wasn't being my authentic self unless I really made it my own, and I really did my own version of his song. So I collaborated with a number of musicians like Tyler Rosenberry, Santi Castillo, and Arjun Nangia. Excuse me for the mispronunciation. In terms of filming, my good friend Benjamin Kryman helped with a ton of the clips, as well as locations. And all of my collaborations were great. And the whole idea of experimental is, well, to experiment, try new things, and take a lot of risks. And whenever new ideas were thrown up by my friends, there weren't a lot of no's. So my inspiration for the song was mentioned before, Kids Growing Up by the Kid Laroi, but the visual aspect was further influenced by Palfu, who does a lot of nice lo-fi freestyles on TikTok and social media, which is pretty cool. And so with only 2 weeks left in Zenith, I was falling behind and I was stuck because I was trying to recreate what Kid Laroi had already mastered. And so I leaned more on Palfu's music video themes for inspiration, and I even saw him in concert about a week prior to Zenith being finished. And he really explained how an instrumental sets the tone and the aesthetic for a song, but the lyrics, all they do is provide a specific narrative. And by eliminating the lyrics in my visualizer, I was able to make the visualizer more experimental, and I let the audience kind of interpret the video how they wanted. In terms of 21st century skills, I think I improved the most in visual literacy, self-direction, and risk-taking during the Zenith unit. But I know that I improved in all of Freestyle's 21st century skills over my 2 years at Freestyle. I improved in visual literacy by showing and not telling with my visuals and stories, self-direction for the amount of planning and independent work I got to do, and risk-taking as I continued to make mistakes but also try abstract things, even if they didn't make sense to me in the moment. I'll admit Zenith was not my most successful project at Freestyle or the most polished, but I believe that it really ignited my passion and elevated my skills tremendously. My passion for this project was to have experimental visuals that felt somewhat like a nostalgic fever dream, and it elevated my skills musically as well. I always wanted to see how music was made and produced, and I got to do the whole process from start to finish, which I'm super proud of and had a ton of fun doing. If I could do the project one more time or had a little bit more time to work on it, I probably would have taken more time to understand the chords of the song, because that was a little tricky. I wanted to learn how to use Pro Tools a little bit more, especially with their virtual instruments, or possibly use something like Logic Pro or FL Studio, which I'm a little bit more comfortable with, but just due to time constraints, Pro Tools was the most accessible. And I wish I'd added a little bit more piano or organ parts in the song, because in the original song it has the organ, it has piano, it makes the song feel a little bit more mysterious, and that was something I felt was a little missing. If I could leave a final thought to anyone listening, I want you to know this, that experimental has very few boundaries, and the boundaries of experimental are the ones that you set. So you can do what you want without breaking too many rules. You can make it as abstract as you want and have fun. Because this is the time to take risks and say yes to just about everything. Zenith was so much fun, and although it didn't always go as planned for me and for a lot of other people, it really gives you one more chance to try new things. You don't have to be a perfectionist, but you have to show grit like never before, and that's the joy of Zenith and what makes it the ultimate freestyle project.